with the most serious offences, but it can only deal with crimes committed after 2002.
When you are in Boston, you are confirming the law. In Amsterdam, you are confirming the law. In the international world, you are establishing the law. It's a process. And it took 50 years to move from Lemkin idea to implementation ICC. It took 50 years. We had to identify why each group was attacked. Okay, these are the attacks against the Fur, these are attacks against the Sagagua,
Do you
attack against
want
Masalit.
all of these to be contained in one map?
No, three.
In three separate maps?
Three. See, three separate maps, three separate annex.
Okay.
Every attack you can click on and bring up at least a witness statement.
What is this?
So the gray parts show the destroyed area, whereas the very black parts show that that place is still intact.
It's Masalit area. One of the things we had to prove is the targeting of the full Sagagua Masalit. We have map showing where this belief and what village were attacked.
We have plotted on this map about 309 attacks on villages in Darfur.
I counted here village abandoned, and the number is 100.
Hello? Basically what will happen is, on the 14th, we present to the judges an application requesting the arrest warrant against al-Bashir for genocide.
التحية لهم ولشهدائهم الأبرار الذين ارتوت الأرض بدمائهم فأنبتت الزرع والزهر والطلع والبترول.
We are proving Bashir has absolute control of his forces. He is the president of the country, the head of the National Congress Party, the commander-in-chief of the army. And also we have evidence showing how we report to him directly, including militia and Janjaweed leader he included in the reserve forces. So we prove the control he has. It's interesting, he keep attacking people in full sight of the international community, in full sight of the Security Council. He managed that the international community has different interests, can different to work together, and in some way he forced the denial of everyone. And people are being killed today, so he does not care. We cannot deny the government is obviously having a policy targeting these people. And they are doing this inside the international community. Okay, it's not your role to say it's genocide, but it's my role. I had to do it. From the beginning, I say, I will prosecute those who bear the greater responsibility. The law defines what is right or wrong in a global community. So it's not just about punishing al-Bashir. It's about, can someone with power commit genocide because has power?
Unlike the UN, the ICC has no police force. With no one to track down and arrest suspects, it relies on cooperation and political backing. But key countries have not ratified it. They include Israel, China, India, Pakistan, most Arab states, and, most importantly, the United States, which has argued it wants to protect its soldiers serving abroad from frivolous cases.
When I was appointed, a friend of mine told me, refuse the position because without US support, you cannot investigate, you cannot arrest people. So for me, it was a good advice because it was saying basically I had to ignore US and I had to organize things differently. In some way, I'm used to it because in Argentina, I learned a lot how to investigate against power, how to investigate against the wind, how to sail against the winds. So I see the level of conflict I had to face alone normally train me to the job.
Señores jueces, cada uno de los hechos que estamos narrando merecería ser contado en sus detalles para poder apreciar lo que cada uno de esos hechos significó.
I think the junta trial was the first time when I had to face people who was against me. The elite in my country was in favor of the military dictatorship, so I had to face my family. My mother loved General Videla. I had two uncles who are colonels. So my family on my mother's side was military. In fact, my uncle Bubi went to see General Videla and said, look, General, it's a shame, but Moreno Campo is my nephew, and I can do nothing to stop him. So the only thing I can do is promise you, I will never talk to him again. Never. And he fulfilled his promise.
No vamos a tolerar que la muerte ande suelta en la Argentina.
And then that's why I started to be training the idea. Some people hate you, some people support you, and you have to ignore both. Just be impartial and keep doing your job. It's the only way to fulfill my mission. Military dictatorship killed about 20,000 probably, but kidnapped more than 50,000. It was not a genocide. The numbers are different, but we're still paying the consequence, so it's a catastrophe.
La ferocidad y la mentira son las dos notas del sistema de represión. Por eso hoy se hace necesario averiguar la verdad y juzgar a todos los que hayan violado la ley, en particular a los poderosos, a los máximos responsables.
The generals explained to us, look, this was a war. We saved the country, and you pretend we are committing crimes. It's insane. So that was their mentality. In some way, I could understand them. The feeling of loyalty, the feeling of honor. I know them. And also, I was same age of the students who were killed. So I feel I can belong to both groups, but also I believe in the law. And so for me, it's just, guys, this is the law, I have to respect the law. The law is a difference between life or death. I had the privilege to be the prosecutor in the junta trials. I cannot fail. We cannot fail. If we fail to prove the case, the military will say, okay, we are innocent. And Argentina will lose order and memory. The trial put order, gave clarity. But also the trials show respect for the victims, because we are transforming their stories into evidence.
Misha matar kiri bi aska oni ajogi gagadawa na korni ajokolo holo o amunero de taniro bataniro e kosiru jawa siniro na korniro weniro kiri banaji kusanga ana osrara igre o wada shindu no yana kaziga ni kala ta una tawdene besten tade kan libertad agak kinina kinina awo awo setrere to awo te bere to sarnam jegi joru tanga bere oro so kiri miskin sa ru januri kama khashat qawat da sallat namshi وين انما عمر بقتلنا
February 2004, soldiers in Janjaweed attacked. Witnesses saw soldiers crush small children with their horses, boys tied by the neck and dragged behind running horses until they died. There's another one, 15th February village attacked and destroyed. Wells were probably poisoned. They smelled like DDT. And saw 7 girls, age 8 to 9, raped, many unconscious after the attack. So these are some.
Yeah, but I understand the concerns, but I'm not bombing the schools. I'm not killing the peacekeepers. So I'm not doing the crimes. I'm just saying, guys, this is a crime. Stop the crimes. And he bombed the schools in May. He killed people now. So, and also, he's confessing in TV. And he was publicly saying, yes, I get instructions, so what? Okay, I'm the prosecutor, I have to say, okay, so what? You are the criminal now. This is the fault of the Sudanese. They refuse to engage. They pretend they ignore, and they publicly say, Bashir gave instructions. So what they can do? So they have to stop the stupid threatening to us. They have to behave. They have to behave. No.
Morning, young lady. Still got a seat left for us in the back, behind this, behind the rope.
Yeah, unfortunately, behind the rope.
The Security Council agrees to extend an invitation to Mr. Luis Moreno Ocampo, prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. Welcome, Mr. Ocampo. You have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mr. President, Excellencies. Mr. President, the Council decided to refer the situation in Darfur to the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, thinking of the Darfuris, but remembering Rwanda and Srebrenica. You sent a concrete message. There can be no impunity for perpetrators of massive atrocities in Darfur. The evidence shows over a period of 5 years, an organized campaign by Sudanese officials to attack civilians. In Darfur today, girls are still being raped. Children die as their schools are bombed. There is no military justification for bombing schools, no legal excuse for raping women. Those are simply criminal acts against unarmed civilians. Their own state is attacking them. If the international community does not protect the Darfuris, they will be eliminated. I will proceed to the judges and present my evidence on who are those most responsible for the crimes described. Silence has never helped or protected victims. Silence, it only helps the criminals. Thank you.
When we talk about intervention or what the response to genocide or mass atrocity should be, there are a range of tools in the toolbox, a range of forms of involvement that one can take. But what's really disturbing is that we tend not even to open up the toolbox of tools and just to kind of say, well, it's not in our national interest, therefore someone else will take care of it. It's as if some of the lessons of the Holocaust were sort of stopped both at the water's edge and in the year 1945.
The Rwandan genocide is commonly known as having taken 1 million of people in 100 days. Such killings of human beings by human beings breaks the human confidence in itself. You question your being as human being. As long as you have such feeling, you are disconnected, if I can say, you are disconnected to life. Basokuru turahageze rero. Urabeho. Ntabwo tuhagera. Dore. Yes. You know, once you become a survivor of that situation, you think you would better rely on yourself.
Abo, witonde sha, iyo sima igomba kuba ishaje. Ubwo zikuri hejuru y'imva ariko.
This is a kind of situation where you cannot, when you don't understand what is going on. And then you start questioning yourself. Then you lose confidence in yourself.
In Rwanda, up to 200,000 people have died in a month of civil war and tribal massacres.
Majority Hutus killing the hated and once economically dominant Tutsis.
Yeah. The problem of ethnicity in Rwanda was something which was encouraged by the government. I remember when I was at school, I was at the same time identified as Rwandan and Tutsi. It was a discriminatory system. It was something which was very clear, which was very organized.
Massacres continue in the Central African nation of Rwanda. Rwanda fell into anarchy after its president was killed in a suspicious plane crash early this month.
The genocide was planned. They knew who was to be killed.
It has been an extremely violent day, a witch hunt in which various politicians have been murdered and members of the minority Tutsi tribe have also been murdered.
It's not very easy to kill 10,000 people in a day using only machetes. It shows how people were active.
The Western governments who had in their daily intelligence briefs detailed information about what was going down in Rwanda, who even if they never opened their intelligence briefs, could read in the New York Times and the Washington Post every day, already after 2 weeks that more than 200,000 people had been killed, just sat there and just watched a faster killing spree than even the Nazis had mustered.
We were all of us afraid. We would not know what was going to happen. I told my wife, now we have to run away. We ran until the stadium. The Radio Milcolino was broadcasting that all the cockroaches stay at Amahoro Stadium. They knew that we were there. Cockroach is a term that was used to mean the Tutsis. At Amahoro, UN ensures security.
The UN is planning the deployment of the extra 5,000 troops it's expecting. There's still no certainty about when or even if these troops will arrive.
General, so when are the extra troops going to arrive?
Last week.
Will you send troops?
What more do you want me to say? I'm waiting here. So send me troops.
General Dallaire, seeing the bodies pile up around him, a soldier, getting call after call from Western capitals and other capitals saying, we want our troops to come home.
I am waiting for New York to what it's been able to do with all these sovereign countries and the decisions are happening there. The UN does not have dedicated troops, and so sovereign states take the decisions.
He did receive a call from an American officer, and he begged. He just said, come, why don't you come and help reinforce me, this flimsy force I have. And the officer on the other line said, we've run the numbers here, and we've decided that one American life is worth about 80,000 Rwandan lives.